You belong with me. You belong.
Hi, Hollis.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. It's believers on quarantine
We are believers in the house,
in the house.
in separate houses right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's first experience for us, but we hope it will work.
Yeah. Technically, I mean, you've been going outside, right?
Yeah.
I haven't been going outside.
No?
No.
Why?
I went, maybe Thursday, I went outside to take the trash out. And this is that was like the first time I have been outside since last Friday.
Oh.
And I haven't been outside my flat for a couple of days again, I think. I can't remember now.
But you know, it's better. It's better if you can stay home.
Yeah.
And in this situation, I would suggest to do like you do. It's right, but sometimes everybody need to go out to make some round. You know, I just take my bicycle and going in park
Yeah.
to make my rounds because I need I need some sport.
Right.
I need fresh air. It's so wonderful and sunny outside. So. It's just not possible to stay at home all time. It's just crazy. And I met some friends too for all this time actually, but not together and not in the same moment. And we keep distance like almost 2 meters. It's quite funny, but you know, it's social responsibility, you know.
But I'm wondering what. So we're not supposed to visit other people. So what difference does it make if you go to work and you come home to your family?
No, it makes big difference because I keep distance. If I meet someone on street, at first it's not in close
Right.
building. It's on street, on fresh air, and we keep distance.
Right.
So at least it's 1 meter.
Yeah.
So we are with bicycles, and it's not so easy to be closer, you know.
Okay. So you.
We are not giving hugs, not giving kisses, just you know, just to meet, to speak, and yeah.
So, well, what about a person who is like, if they're going to visit someone that they know and they haven't been hugging, is this any different?
I think it's big difference.
Yeah.
It's big difference. Yeah.
I mean,
think
it's
you
necessary,
cannot do
right?
like this.
You can't you can't quarantine yourself from your family. Like, people aren't at home like staying 6 meters away from each other at home. Nobody's doing this, right?
No.
Yeah.
It's just not possible.
Yeah.
You know how you can keep distance from your kids.
Right. Right.
Or
Right.
from your husband or your mom.
Yeah.
Okay, from your mom you can. It's really better to separate you from more older people.
Yeah.
Because they have, for them it's more dangerous. Yeah, but it's you know, I wanted to speak not about how to act in quarantine.
Yeah.
I wanted, you know, we got this question before all this situation with coronavirus starting.
Right.
Question was about death.
About
if
death.
somebody about death, if somebody afraid to die, you know, and to this moment. So I spoke with some people online and I saw what people worry about at the moment, what happens. You know, it's not just, okay, I will lose my job. You know, this is not so big point to be I don't know, afraid. most biggest point what is for people, what happens if I die, or what happens if my parents will die, or what happens if people which I know will die. You know, how to deal with this feeling. You know, I hope everything will be fine, and you know, amount of death will be not so much. It's increased, you know. When I see every day something like 1,000 people die. So only in Italy it was something like 1,000 people death in one day, and when you look and you start to be afraid. What happens if I'm next? What happens if my mom is next? What happens if my dad or people, just people which I know next? And you understand you cannot really protect yourself or these people, you know, those people. How to deal with this, you know? And from one side, we listen, no panic, just stay home. And from other side, yeah, you know, it will not help you really, it will not protect you really, no mask or handshoe, gloves will protect you, you need to wash your hands, but it's not enough because some virus can come on your clothes and you can bring it with you, you know. And this fear to die coming, so just over all other fears, you know, all other, you know, so over your clean mind, you know. I know people, they're not going out from home. They order something like a pizza at home. And there was in supermarket, was buying something like, you know, like a rice, what you can store a long time and cook it. And if they need to go out for something from flat, they dress them up after this mission, and same moment they wash it with something with what can kill all bacteria, you know, all virus, and they use the special, it's not like a mask what in hospitals they use, it's with glasses together, how name of this I don't know, you know,
like the gas mask, like
yeah,
a gas
exactly
mask.
Gas mask. And you know, and gloves and over gloves, one you know, they're driving crazy because they're afraid. They're afraid to die, and they see, yeah, even if somebody said for young people it's not so dangerous, but still, you know, some way inside you have this feeling, my God, what if I'm in this 1% of young people which gonna die? Yeah. I thought about how we can deal with this feeling, you know, because, you know, if we feel dangerous situation, you know, our hormones, endorphin actually, it's going in our blood. We start to be more active. It helps us in short situation. For example, you walk in forest and you see just big bear in forest, and this hormone endorphin for you is enough to jump on tree, you know, so high how it's possible, and save your life just now, or to start to run. If you don't have any trees, you know, just in hard situation somewhere in city at night, you know, it will for a short time, but how to deal if you have it all the time, this hormone in your blood, because you're afraid its situation is not going better, you know, you know, it's going worse. If I see numbers, it's looking like it's going worse. You know, at first it was only China, after it started with Italy, now it's everywhere. In USA, it's looking like a hell, you know, and everybody just afraid. everybody just afraid. Not everybody, some crazy people. If somebody said, I'm not afraid, I don't care. I don't know. I make grill party today. I don't know. Sometimes, or he's not liking to accept this feeling. Now he run away from this feeling because it's normal to be afraid of situations like this. If everybody die, yeah. And how if I don't know, I'm not psychotherapist for to say how should we act. Of course, I can imagine that we need to take it easier. How it's possible, we need to reduce amount of news in our life. My TV, it's all the time off. I don't like to see it permanent, if it's going to be on, it's only Netflix, and not about some pandemic or something like this, it's some comedy.
Right.
Some nice light comedy about, I don't know, love, kids, dogs, whatever.
Yeah.
Something nice.
Right.
Don't bring too much stress. You have already enough, What else I can recommend to do? Don't speak about this too much with your friends or with your family, or not look on Facebook too much about this. It's don't mean to close eyes,
Right.
No, we cannot say that it's no any virus here. It's not dangerous at all, Just keep yourself, your family safe. Listen what this government said. So wash your hands. Oh, finally start to wash your hands. It's so funny, but it's easy stuff what you can do.
Yeah.
And keep distance from other people. People with which I spoke, everybody wait. It will over till 20 April because government said that quarantine will go until 20 April. But
20th of April?
Yeah, exactly. But it will not happen. What I can see now, it will not happen. Okay, I will be happy if it happens,
You mean that they lift the quarantine on the 20th of April? You don't see that happening? Right. Okay.
No. And we must be ready that this situation will stay longer with us, because we are not just, to take it easier, how it's possible. And, what I will suggest to do now, just do your stuff. Everybody have these things which we was keeping away from our time plan, to start to paint, or play piano, or write a book, or start to looking for boyfriend, or to learn something, to read some book which you was buying some years ago and never was reading.
Right.
Just use this time. And after Corona, after quarantine, what will happen? What will change? I don't know, but probably it will happen. And you must be ready. And for to be ready, I think it's good time for to sit and research what I can do after this time.
Yeah.
What I can do if I lose my job in time of Corona crisis, and I will need to find something different. What I can do, just to use this time like a holidays. It's nice. Maybe it's a way, but I think we need just use this time because it's unique situation. Now you can start everything what you want.
Yeah.
Now you can plan something in your life. You can take this time to think about how was your life, or where you like to be tomorrow, or after time of Corona, if it will start to be more stable, or we will be able to interact with other people.
Yeah.
But you know, I speak to, I was not really speaking with someone during last 3 weeks. Sorry, friends.
No. Well.
Yeah, I think everybody knows it already, and I wrote it on my page in Facebook as well. So, what do you think about how to deal with fear to die?
Well, I mean, the thing is I take the approach of accepting what you can't change and changing what you can't accept, I guess. But what I would say is I think you have a good point about I guess like redirecting your attention towards creating. Like, I mean, I think creating things, and now people have more time than they know what to do with, And if you don't occupy this time with some form of progress of yourself or planning for, what you can learn from this situation and how you could prevent yourself from, you know what I mean? Of course, I don't think anyone could have prevented this, but as far as like preparing yourself, which means that like now, you have to take into account, this is what savings are for. And this is what planning is for, and some, now we can see, certain ways of life are okay when it's just you making a change, but when everything changes, then it's like, how do you prepare yourself for everything changing around you? I think this is a good time to start making changes in all of our lives or whatever, as far as like being healthier, putting value on the things that are actually important and concentrating on those things, and right. One of those things being your relationships with other people, your relationship with yourself, taking care of yourself, taking care of your health so that you can be strong enough to fight off, whatever may come your way. Not to say that everything can be beaten, but you give yourself a chance. You know what I mean? You give yourself a better chance every time you do something good for yourself, And so these are some of the things that I really think that a person can do for themselves. So you can plan and you can distract are the two things that I would say are pretty important for dealing with this situation overall. But when it comes to death, yeah, the best that you can do, you have to accept that it happens. I mean, and I'm sure many other people, unfortunate enough to be quite familiar with death. For me, I have experienced a lot of death in my lifetime. Like, I've had many friends. Like, I know more than my fair share of people who've been murdered, and then other people who've died almost sometimes unnecessarily, like, just from not taking care of themselves or getting addicted to something that would eventually kill them and things like this. So I've experienced enough of this from a young age to accept that this can happen and can also happen to me. Once these kinds of things start happening, then you can say, what can I do to take control of the situation? What aspects of this do I have control over? Which is, once again, going back to taking care of yourself and trying to be a good influence on the other people around you,
Yeah.
And this is something that you can actively feel like you can actually do something about it, and then you have to let go of the parts that you can't control, Because if you can't accept what you can't control, it's going to just lead to anxiety that you can't do anything about. I mean, I think this is the main way that I would handle these things. Like, I changed my lifestyle. Like, once, I stopped doing things that would lead to me more likely having something bad happen to me, and so I started not going to certain places or frequenting them less.
What now crossed my mind, that you need just live today. That you will not have time to afraid in time when it's because it's normal circle of life. We born one day and one day we're gonna die. Nobody knows in which day it happens.
Right.
But it happens. It's fine. It's so how it works. You don't need to be afraid in virus, because it can happen just on street, just some stupid accident, and you are not here anymore.
Right.
And if you will live with this feeling that I'm afraid, I'm wait or afraid in this special day when I'm gonna die, you will not feel this feeling of life complete. You taste of life.
Right.
I think just put attention on what you are doing today.
Yeah.
If you was dreaming all the time, all your life, to be dancer, and you work in bank, just try it.
Yes.
Try it out.
Yes.
Maybe you will try, and you will find out that it's not yours. Because if you're professional in your banking stuff, you all the time will find this job again.
Right.
But if you never will try to be dancer,
right,
or whatever you wish to do, and you will suffer about this till the end of your life, and and in bed when time coming to end of your life, you said, but because most people, I actually read it somewhere that about what people.
Yeah, they're on their deathbeds, they say, I think it was something along the lines of people at the end of their lives, they don't regret so much the things that they did, but more so the things that they didn't do.
Yeah, it was. But, on first place, it was things that I was not telling. We are so afraid to tell, just so words, we say it's special words, I love you. But it's so, if we really love someone, why it have to be so special, to let them know what I love you, to your mama, to your brother, to your friends,
to your podcast partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's it's part of open communication. So because it's my feeling, if I have it, I need to share it. I need to discuss it. I need to show it. Why we are so close, No, you need, so what I saw, I don't remember, that some rules that if man is writing to girl, she need to wait 2 hours before she answer, and and. But why not to go open? Because it's it's looking like a game. We play with each other. We play with our friends. We play with our kids to force them to do something what we need. And after we regret that we are with wrong person, or we are not telling this person, even to this person, what we really appreciate and love them.
Right.
It's so crazy what it happens. So I try to use it. last months actually of my life, I try to go open with people, and if I miss someone, so I tell it.
Right.
And some people, reaction is really, oh, she's weird. No. Really is it, but it's my, I feel like this. Yeah, I miss, for example, my physiotherapist. Yeah, I like him. He's a nice guy. Why it have to be, some secret that I like to visit him. I really enjoying to speak with him and to visit him, and he helped me a lot. So why not telling this?
Right.
We making all the time this distance between people, between us.
Yeah.
And now in situation when we have it, where I said, no, please keep distance. But we have it this distance already. Just we was staying closer.
Yeah.
So, but we lose connection with some people years ago, and now do it to this quarantine stuff. We start to be closer. They start to write me and explain something. I was just running in my life, or whatever. And with people which is already close to me, we start to be more closer. Even my brother was calling to me, something, and I have time for to speak with people, for to do it calm, and to spend more time for to speaking with people, for to listen people, and for to listen exactly what they say, because usually what happens with me, all the time I'm running somewhere in between if my mom is calling to me and I say yeah, it's like all fine, thank you, bye. And it's not real connection, it's not real communication,
Right.
And I think if we will live full life and doing what we really want, not struggle, not to use every moment in our life, or to enjoy this life, and to have nice connection with people which are around us, or to try to make it better. If you have around, so notice some people which I had around me, I don't need in my life,
Yeah.
These people, like a noise, there was part of my contact group, people which is all the time around, but they are boring to me. They are not because they are bad. No, they are good people. They are good people. Just it's not interesting for me, this communication, and I just lose the time for to spend it with them, So it's not given quality, how it's quantity over quality.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and now we have time just to look in this. And I think if you just living, just enjoying, you understand Today I am a Daria, today sun is shining or rainy, or I don't know, somebody walk on street, and I can notice easy moments in my life, and to do it real, another way not do it at all.
Right.
In my opinion, if you don't have time to speak now with your mom, just say, Mom, I will call you later, and call back when you will have time to speak with her, to listen what she like to say, and maybe to share with her any your emotions or news or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after you don't have time for fears about what happens when I will die. Yeah, make ready if you are afraid what happens with your kids. Make ready.
Yeah.
Save money.
Yeah.
Or open in bank some deposit for your kids. Do something.
Yes.
You don't need to be afraid then.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. It's like take some action, like work on it. And once you put an action behind something, then there's so much to gain from taking an action in response to something, like a proper reaction, not just having an illogical reaction, but having a positive reaction, like maybe think about what exactly it is that you are afraid of, like, and actually the person who posed this question, I'd be curious to know exactly what they are afraid of when it comes to death, like, and for me, is it about being afraid of not knowing what happens when you die, or are you afraid that you didn't achieve the things that you wanted to achieve when by the time you die, or you don't live long enough to see what the world will be like? Are you afraid of that, or are you afraid, like, it's about that. Like, for me, myself, like, I actually fear getting old more than I fear dying.
Oh.
Yeah, because and old in the sense of, like, not being able to do the things that I really want to do, like, that I don't have a good quality of life, so like, or maybe dying alone or something like this, it would be something else that someone else might be afraid of. And the thing is so much of these things that you are afraid of, you can actually put some action behind, lessening the chances of these things occurring in the way that you don't want them to occur. So if you're afraid of dying alone, then that's when you have to, spend more time building relationships with more people, and it's, and one of the things to consider, like, I hope my mom doesn't get mad at me for bringing this up, but she was, as she's gotten older, so many of the people that she has known for a long time, they're all dying around her. And what I started taking out of this was that it's, every person has value or whatever. Like, one person cannot replace another, and this is not what I would suggest, but I think one way that it doesn't have such an impactful feel is to continue to build new relationships with people, and try to connect with other people, so that, like, you always have people in your life, like, of course, that not just anyone, but, like, try to build substantial relationships, or having activities that bring you in contact with people that at least you can connect with on a shared interest or a shared love for, or shared passion. You know what I mean? Those kinds of things. And, so it's like examining what it is that you're afraid of when it comes to death, then seeing what you can do to change that, like, reduce the possibility of that outcome, So, yeah.
You tell now about your mom, and my dad have disease with his lungs. It's like the lungs are dying every day, little by little.
Oh, wow.
But every day, it's affect to quality of life, or on everything. actually, because he have much more difficulties because it's not enough now oxygen for his body, and it's bring a lot of action. But it's he's living every day with feeling that he's dying.
Right.
Actually, it's like this, Nobody knows how much years it will take. But he's already in this dying mode. So, I think people with cancer or something like this, some disease, or how name of this, some disease which is killing all your body in the same time. I don't know. And they have this feeling that they're on the way to die. And
But we
this,
are,
I think it's very, very hard to deal with this.
But the thing is like the reality of the situation, as I see it, right? We grow, right? We grow into the point till we hit our maturity, right? And then for the rest of our lives, we're dying. So we all started dying in our 20s. You know what I mean? We all started dying in our 20s. It's just a matter of like how long you will live based upon what happens to you and the choices that you make. And I mean, this is what it kind of really like comes down to. Like, if you, I don't know, like they do say there's something to be said about living your life every day as if it's your last day. And this I can kind of understand. Like, I think once I didn't mean to cut you off about your father, actually. Did you want to say some more about that?
No. Hold on.
But so that's what I mean. It's like when you're faced with this situation, it's like, I guess the fear comes from having some sort of an idea. Easy. When you have some sort of idea of, like, they're giving you, when they tell you have this disease that's slowly killing you, it gives you this impression that now for sure that death is coming to you at some point in time, But this is always happening. Like, the likelihood of, living past 100 is very unlikely for most people, Especially the way that we treat our bodies and stuff like that. But you can say, hey, I only have a certain amount of time on the planet. What do I want to do with that time? You know what I mean? And it's not focusing on the dying part, but like what you're going to do while you're living, And
yeah.
And part of that is like, of course, it's about like doing things and for preparing for the next generation to carry the torch and setting your children up for, so that they don't struggle as much as you did, you know what I mean? And teaching them the things that they need to know to survive. I know you want to do all of those things, but you also want to take time to enjoy your life as well. And treat yourself well. And so, I mean,
what I think, So if we take person which have some disease like a cancer or like my dad have or whatever, when you know that you're gonna die but you have some time before this happens, and people which is dying by accident in some car crash or something happens on work, or like heart attack. Something, what happens fast, and in one moment you are not here anymore. And I think some people said, oh, likely I will prefer to die very fast, like boom, and it's no pain, no suffer, nothing, like fast. And but I think in second variant, it's everybody said, oh, it's so awful, because just to see how my dad, for example, he suffer now, it's break my heart. And if it will be more worse, it will be more harder, or somebody's dying with cancer and so on. But it's just, I think it's we need to think about this more positive. We have this time, we know that it's gonna happen, and now we have this time to spend more time together, to speak, communicate more with each other, maybe to do something what we was not doing before. We wanted, but all the time was something more important, or not enough time, or something. We have chance to say how we love them, how is important. I think it's I can find positive side everywhere. If you want, if you it's everything what happens, even with coronavirus, some people just, oh my God, we're gonna die all, we will have this disease all, and we will die, or we will sick till the end of our life, or I don't know, whatever. It's so awful to sit at home, so awful to keep distance, so awful is dating not possible, but like negative side, and they are living in this stress. Oh, it's so boring at home. But just look on other side, and same about death. You can see in this something awful. Like, I'm not speaking about people that's already very close to suicide. I have some friends that says, oh, finally I have to do nothing, we all gonna die, Oh my God.
Yeah.
So nice to know it. Yeah. But it's really not, it's weak position to suicide. It's really not not what. This is, nobody knows, it's.
But that's why it's important to like start like giving some attention to your purpose, like and when you give yourself a reason to exist, you give it to yourself. There's no. Personally, I don't think that you're destined to have a purpose, and like your purpose doesn't fall into your lap. You can give yourself a purpose. You can give yourself a reason to live, and you can also give yourself something to, this boredom thing. Like, I don't even think I'm capable of being bored at all. Like, I don't think I'm capable. I mean, and I think this is something that you can learn. Like, you can train yourself to be able to be creative in these circumstances. I actually was thinking, I don't know what would happen if the internet went down while this was going on. I think we'd really be in trouble. Like, because so many of us have a tendency to be like kind of reactionary and passive about the way that we live our lives, you know? That when you don't have the outside stimulus like feeding you, then you really start to panic and you think that something is like truly missing in your life when you don't have stimulus coming in. But the thing is like you can create stimulus that goes outward, you know, and that's where it comes back to being creative and using your imagination and thinking about things and reflecting upon things and deciding how you want to be different, how you want to change yourself, how you want to progress yourself. Like there's so many things that you can do. And I think it will give you purpose. It'll make you understand the value of your life when you do these kinds of things, you know?
Yeah.
And so, I've seen some, I just saw, I won't say some, but I saw one report of some person that took their life because of this. They couldn't handle being alone, you know what I mean? And this is why, and this is what I mean about like, this is why you and I always have this conflict about, you know, everyone is perfect the way that they are, you know, like, I always say that, like, you need to prove that to yourself. You can't assume it. Like, it's not something that's just, you know what I mean? Like, you need to give yourself challenges so that when something happens, you know that you'll give yourself the confidence to know that you can handle it, you know? And this comes through practice and proof. You know, if you don't challenge yourself, if you don't test yourself, if you don't set a goal for yourself, and then achieve that goal, you when things happen, you won't be prepared. You won't be mentally prepared. You won't be emotionally prepared. And I mean, I think one of the things that comes out of these kinds of situations is that everyone that survives it, like, they know, now they're going to know what it could be like. You know what I mean? What life can be like, could be like if you don't, you know. So then, you know, just as much as you stock up on food, then you say, oh, I better stock up on books so I have some way to occupy my mind, you know what I mean? And you know, have like some sort of like exercise plan. Like, who knows what the transportation system is going to be like? Like, who knows what's going to happen, you know? Or what you're going to be able to afford to do. And so the thing is like, you want to constantly, and this is just my approach. I'm not saying that everyone should do it, but I just don't see it another way. I can only tell you the way that I would do it, you know? And like, this is why it's important to mentally prepare yourself by testing yourself, by seeing what you can do without, like, see what's necessary and unnecessary in your life, and reflecting upon these things, you know?
You know what I think? Just we are addicted. We are addicted to this social system what we have. We why this person is not this person about what you mentioned. As he took his life because it was not possible to stay alone, because, you know, this social system what we have, it's, you know, it's fulfill our life so much that it's no place for us, for personality, you know. Just you know, I think what we need to do, just separate. So each person from this, it's not mean we have to move to live alone in mountains. It's not like this, but to feel where am I, who am I, what I gonna do with my my life and what I'm doing today, what I'm doing tomorrow, what is my step, what is my goal. It's right to have, but not in one box with all social, Tomorrow I like to have 200 followers on Instagram. It's not a goal, maybe, but I think it's good practice to learn how to be in with balance with your body, with your mind, just to know how to be alone. I heard it a lot of time. It's just not possible for me to be alone. And how you can sit alone. I love to be with me because, I have all the time something to do. I can just to be with me and to think about without any action. Just to think about something, because I have a lot of ideas, and I like meditation, and what I would to recommend to everybody to try it. And I told to you already my experience when in summertime I was in retreat center, and accidentally, it's no internet there. It's not TV there. No, it was some TV, but it's a so small box that I cannot see something inside, Then it was not really for to look.
What is this? What was this? Where were you?
A retreat center that's in Midland, Germany, and around was just nothing.
Okay.
From one side was forest, from other side was mountains, and around was only fields with corn. Yeah, with corn, nothing more, And what I got a lot of time. It was some activities as well. But I was, without this social noise in which we live daily. So without Facebook, Instagram, 1 million messages and WhatsApp, Skype calls, I don't know, whatever. I was just, only me, my thoughts, and nature, and some people was around, but it's just strangers. We are not time to time. I got some interaction, of course, conversation, but basically I was alone, and and I understand. And day number 3, I was first of all I was driving crazy. How I will survive, and what I gonna do, and how it's possible, what I will do. I was running everywhere with, for to find connection. It was not possible, even normal phone connection.
Right.
It was so special place. And after day number 3, I said, okay, I have something to do. I have to do something with me to look inside.
Yeah.
What I have inside.
Yeah.
How to deal, how to understand, to bring out everything what I had.
Yeah.
Separate it. And I think it's good praxis. Praxis to do not forget that who are you alone.
Right.
To be like all the time like in one cocktail with all social,
Yeah.
But I can imagine it's not so easy when we have so much this noise from everywhere. Now I'm enjoying this, really enjoying. No planes, no ships, not so much cars on street, not so much people on street. It's so quiet.
Yeah.
It's so, and I can listen my brain, my thoughts. And and my neighbors can listen how I play drum at home. It's interesting, just something you can find something good in everything,
Yeah.
and be ready for this situation next time. You know what happens if really no internet here?
Yeah. Well, there was, I forget the name of this practice or whatever, or this ritual, or this, I don't know what you even call it, but there's something related to meditation that I've been hearing about for years, where you can, like, you go on some sort of like week-long retreat or something, and you don't, and I think all you do is you eat once a day and you meditate and you don't speak.
Yeah, how name of
What do they
this?
call
I forget. I know it, but it's. I listen about this.
And but these are going on all over the world, and I mean, I think like this is one of those. Like, for instance, this is one of those things where you could do to prepare yourself for a situation like this. You know what I mean? Like, if you can understand these practices, and like for me, like I don't hear any noise of the city. Like I appreciate it when I go outside, when I'm at home, I'm alone and I'm just, I can get lost in my thoughts. And well, now the internet does, occupy my time a lot. And, before the internet, I guess when I was growing up, I did have the TV on a lot, even if I wasn't watching it, just letting it run in the background. And I used to not sleep in silence. Like I would always like have music playing or whatever when I'm sleeping. And but at the same time, I do at least have become accustomed to being able to be alone and being able to handle, like, having to rely on my imagination. You know what I mean? And so I think, yeah, this is another thing that you can practice, but this is not necessarily like for something that you can practice for death. Well, probably you can, a fear of death, I should say. But as far as like being able to handle what the next thing to happen, this is the time to learn how to handle these kinds of situations. Yes, people, right. We're in it right now. This is where we're learning the lessons, and hopefully people are learning the lessons.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, it's really, but I think, if you are afraid that something happens with you now, because of coronavirus and so on, just do all what is possible for you, what you can do. As we said, wash your hands, not go too much outside. If you go outside, take distance, use gloves. In supermarket, for example, some, self-protection. And after, if it happens, you can change something. It's like this, But at least you done all possible what you can do.
Right.
God take care about person which take care about self. So. That's what it happens, because if you said I'm afraid to die, so I'm gonna to enjoy my time, and you go to party when it's 1,000 people with you, your chance to die much higher. Some people do. It's something funny for me, but okay, it's a way, because I'm not afraid to die. More I'm afraid to be sick and to be in some not convenient situation.
Yeah.
And to bring in danger my family or my neighbors or some other people.
Yeah.
But what I do, I'm staying at home. I go not so much out. I'm not hanging people on street. I'm not speaking with people. Not coming too close.
Yeah.
Deal with everything via Skype. And it's so easy. It's so easy what we can do. It's I think it's much harder to afraid and do nothing against.
Yeah.
To afraid that I will die and will not finish my book and never start to write this book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I'm afraid that I will not see how my kids grow, and you are not spending any time with your kids.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So just use this time what you have today now.
Yeah.
And now parents have just excellent chance.
I'm sure kids are. I'm sure parents are like, "Is this what you like? Is this what you like at school? Is this what I'm leaving your teachers with? You're crazy." Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I bet you some kids are like, "Man, I wish I could go back to school and get away from these people, these old folks."
But what is funny? We start with kids, and after we cannot stay with our kids. We like to bring it in kindergarten at first, after school, after it's time already to move from home.
Yeah.
So, for what we start with kids if we don't like to spend time with them?
Right.
It's interesting. Maybe it will be once will be topic of our podcast, but not now. Not now. We will have this topic because it's big and very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, our suggestion for you in time of coronavirus, without time of coronavirus, just use your life. Just live your life. If you look only till in the end, you cannot enjoy what you have today.
Yeah.
In this minute, next minute, just live your life today. Enjoy your life today. Build something today. Create something, Not lose your time for Netflix or, I don't know, to reading all news. It will bring you nothing.
Right.
If you know what happens now in Argentina, it will not change your life, but it will take your time of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Use it.
Yes. And I will add part of the way of living your life is challenging yourself.
Yeah.
Challenge yourself. Create something. Learn something new,
Yeah, never stop.
Reflect upon yourself as well.
Yeah, and you can stop only if it's light is not here anymore, Then you can stop. Till light is here, you can see it. Please do something. Do something with your life, because life is bigger than you think. Now life is more than you see. So go to discover what else you can do. You can stay.
Yes, be curious. Yes. My friend talked to me about this a long time ago. She was saying that curiosity is such an important part of a fulfilled life. So
yeah,
go
out of box. Listen our podcast.
That's the best thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
Listen to our podcast.
And change your life and enjoy your life. To be afraid and nothing. But take care about self. Take care.
Yes. Okay. So I am Hollis P. Monroe.
And I'm Daria.
And we are believers.
Yeah, believers.
And we will talk to you sooner rather than later.
Soon as it will be possible.
Yes.
Please let us know if you like to listen us more often. Maybe we can do something with this.
Yes. Oh, and find us on YouTube and on Instagram. We follow us there. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe on Spotify and Anchor.
You belong with me.